Hits it into the back of the net for his 34th goal of the year.
Jim? I'll try to go to the second. Go ahead, Jim.
Darnell, can you talk about being on the committee as a player rep, what you went through in terms of all the plans and stuff for the return to play?
Yeah, obviously there was a lot that went into it. There's obviously there was a CBA that was being negotiated, as well as return to play and all those rules and protocols and whatnot. So there's a lot of phone calls, a lot of discussion, ongoing discussion, and happy that in the end we're here at camp getting ready to gear up for a big bubble and a big playoff series.
Next question for Quinn Phillips. Quinn, this means your microphone is active. You can ask your question. Go ahead.
Hi, Darnell. At being the hub city, you guys get the chance to show off your facilities, but you also have to share them. I'm wondering if you've kind of thought about what it's going to be like knowing that there's other teams in your dressing room.
Yeah, it's just those circumstances that is a little unusual that comes with this whole scenario. But hopefully, guys get in here and see how well we're treated, how well taken care of our facilities are, and how nice our arena is, and enjoy it. Obviously, you don't want them to enjoy it too much, but I hope the other teams can come in and see, obviously the perks of playing them.
Next question is Daniel Home for Daniel.
Hi, Darnell. Just to follow up on that question from Quinn, I'm just curious, hockey players, athletes are generally creatures of habit. And, now you're having to live in a hotel, you're going to soon, and, you're going to maybe practice at Terwilliger, things that are a little bit different for you that you've come accustomed to doing here in Edmonton the last few years. What do you think that will be like, and how does it change your kind of day-to-day as you approach games?
Well, obviously, it'll be different for everybody, not just us. That obviously be a little different from the standpoint that we play here in Edmonton. But everyone's in the same position. It's uncomfortable for everyone. So you're gonna have to change up your routine a little bit, get used to being in the hotel, and obviously plan to be in the hotel for a long time, because if you're in the hotel for a while, for a few months, that's a good sign, not a bad one.
I understand there's problems with my microphone, so I've tried to change things. Next up, Jason Gregor. Jason, go ahead.
Can you hear me? There we go. Darnell, this is a very unique situation, of course. You've been through a lot of training camps, and this is, I guess, like a pre-playoff. With only one game, I know you guys always talk about after a long layoff, you want to work on little things. When it's condensed like this, what do you do to ensure that you're going to be ready for the playoffs? How different is your approach from this camp to any other training camp?
Yeah, I think it's different in a sense. Like, a lot of guys on our team didn't take much of a break. We kept going ever since the end of the season, kind of just to stay ready. Maybe we weren't in the peak shape that you're in going into playoffs, but I'd say we were in striking distance of getting there, and that's kind of what these next 2 weeks are all about. So I think physically and mentally as a team, we're all ready and all prepared to get this thing going. Yeah, obviously with camp being a little bit different, with everything gearing up, and only one exhibition game. I mean, for most guys, I think the one exhibition game is ideal. It's more than enough. You just want to, at this point, get this thing started and play.
Next question, Tony Brar. Tony, go ahead when your microphone's active.
Hey, Darnell. Back in September in training camp, head coach Dave Tippett said, to be successful, this team needs to bring its goals against average down. You took a tremendous amount of pride from September onwards in bringing that number down. One, how would you assess how the team has reacted to that challenge from head coach Dave Tippett? And two, how are you looking forward to the challenge, knowing that number has to come even further down if you guys want success in the qualifiers moving on?
Yeah, I think you kind of answered both questions at once. Obviously, to have success this time of the year, you have to keep it down to a minimum, and that comes down to team structure, team defense, and that's got to be our focus first and foremost. Offense will come. We have more than enough offense within our group, so checking and just playing hard on that defensive side of the puck has got to be our focus, and it's been a focus of ours, like you said, since September when camp started. So for us, we just got to maintain that focus and take it to a whole nother level here. As we know, games will get tighter, teams will play harder, and there's a lot more on the line.
Next question for Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
Darnell, a couple of questions. One, how will you be able to stop Patrick Kane from getting a couple of points a game? He seems like he's been the most dangerous player against the Oilers for many years now. And the other question is, yourself and Ethan Bear, you haven't played together for 4 months now, but is it just like riding a bicycle and you just step back in as your regular partner for most of the season?
Yeah, well, for your first question, I mean, that's he's an elite player. He's been an elite player in this league for a long, long time. Has had a lot of success regular season, playoffs. So he's a guy that you have to pay attention to when he's on the ice. And it takes all 6 guys that are out there on the ice, not just 1 or 2. So he's obviously a special player, but that team has a lot of different weapons, a lot of guys that know how to win. So our focus got to be to come in and play the way we know we can. As far as me and Bears, we played together a lot last year. So you just step into camp, snap the puck around a couple times, and just get that feel back. And I think we have a pretty good understanding of where each other are going to be on the ice. And it just gets back to communication and working together again as many reps in as we can, especially over this next week, and getting geared up for the playoffs.
One final question, Tony Brar. Tony, go ahead. As soon as your microphone's active, go ahead.
Darnell, just to piggyback on Ethan Bear question from Jim there. After the scrimmage today, he was talking to assistant coach Jim Playfair for quite a long time while the ice was being scrubbed. So does that kind of embody Ethan Bear? Does he ask a lot of questions behind the scenes, and is he always proactive like that? Yeah,
Bear's is always looking to learn. Always looking to find ways to make his game better, and that's what's made him so good this year, and that's what helps him continue to grow his game more and more. So, he's always hungry to get better, always hungry to, improve and work on areas of his game that he feels like he needs to improve. But I see he's been such a shining star for us so far this season, and we got to keep it going into the playoffs.
Thank you, Darnell, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with Ethan Bear. Thank you. Raise hand function, and we'll wait till we identify you, and then wait until your microphone is active before asking your question. Reminder also to not activate your video. So we have the first question, and it's from Reed Wilkins. Reed, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead.
Hi, Ethan. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Got me? Okay, sorry about that. Good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Last summer, a big storyline for you was an increased, commitment to staying in shape and doing all the right things, and it led to you having a very good year. How do you contrast last summer or compare it with this sort of unexpected off season, and the unusual timing of it? Were you able to satisfy everything you wanted to achieve in terms of keeping everything rolling from last off season?
Yep, absolutely. Still had that same mindset to just prove myself every day. When I was back home, I was very fortunate to have ice and a good training facility. So, I just got a program from Edmonton and just, grinded every day just to stay in shape and work on whatever I could. I had a lot of time and lots of ice. So, I feel really good and just try to keep the same mindset.
Next question, Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead.
Ethan, you mentioned about getting ice early. A lot of players did not do that unless they were living in Europe. Did you consider yourself fortunate, considering a lot of Canadians weren't able to get to the ice as much? And the other question is, well, how much different will this be actually playing playoff games as opposed to games in regular season, and you haven't played any playoff games?
Yeah, very fortunate to get ice. I just try to take advantage of it. Basically just try to work on something new every day. I got some stuff from our D coach Jimmy and just kind of stay in contact with him. But in terms of playoffs and everything, I've never played a playoff game. So I'm just gonna approach it like every other game. I got my routine and everything. I'll just go with that and just not think about it too much. Just play and have fun. That's the biggest thing for me.
Next question will be Tony Brar from Oilers TV. Tony, as soon as your microphone is ready, go ahead.
Hey, Ethan, hope you're well. Just a question regarding this past season here. It's been well documented that you've made a lot of physical changes, but maybe give us a contrast or the differences of how you conducted yourself, maybe mentally or asking more questions around the locker room. Just maybe kind of give us some input on what you maybe did differently this past season.
Honestly, the biggest thing was just my focus. Like each day, coming to the rink, just kind of having a plan of what I wanted to do. Show up early, and get in the gym, do my proper warm up, and then on the ice, maybe if it's video with Jimmy or everything, just kind of go see him and work on little details that I can improve on, and try to stay consistent was pretty much the biggest thing. So it was a long year, and that was the biggest thing, is just try to stay consistent. And I just didn't want to get comfortable at any time. I just knew each day, you got to try to get better, because every day you got to prove yourself in this league. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just trying to stay focused each day. When it's pretty easy, because, everyone here is doing the same thing. Everyone's working to get better and to prove themselves and, to keep their spot. And for me, it's fun, because I know I love to play hockey, and to do this with every guy, it's an honor.
Next question from Derek. Next question from Derek Van Diest. Go ahead, Derek, as soon as your microphone's unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Hey, Ethan, how you doing?
Hey.
I guess I just wanted to ask you, during the pause, there was a lot of, social issues that have come up, obviously with the Black Lives Matter movement and other things, and teams looking at changing their nicknames for some teams. I just wonder if you had a thought on all that, on everything that was going on, and how closely did you pay attention to some of those things that were going on? And, that includes the things that came up with junior hockey, with the bullying and stuff like that.
I try to read as much as I can and kind of educate myself on most of it. But I wouldn't say too much on it, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I try to support everything as much as I can, because it's important. Everyone's equal and deserves a chance in this world. There's lots of opportunities out there. So I think it's very important, and it's very awesome to see.
Next question from Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead.
A couple of things, Ethan. How difficult is it to check Patrick Kane? And the other question I have from you, are you looking forward to an exhibition game against Calgary, since those two teams do not like one another?
Yeah, definitely. Playing a player like Patrick Kane, it's pretty cool. You want to play the best players. You want to compete and just test yourself. And for us, Chicago gave us a rough one this year, so it's definitely a good test for us, and it's a good chance for us to prove that we're the better team. And so it'll be good. And then Calgary, I don't think it gets more intense for an exhibition game. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Next question from Mark Spector. Mark, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Ethan. Back to that other question. You came up in the Western League and all through Western Canada. I'm sure that you found some racism along the way, being a Indigenous guy. I get it. You're young, and your voice probably isn't going to be as loud as it might be in a few years. But you play on a pair with Darnell Nurse. You guys are both probably good spokesmen for something like this. Do you see a role as a young, Indigenous hockey player in the National Hockey League? You're having success now. Is there a role waiting for you somewhere out there, Ethan, to stand up and to make some change?
Absolutely. I know when I feel like time is right, I'll use my voice. But like I said, right now it's just about earning my spot and just working hard and to just prove myself each day. Not get comfortable, try to get better each day. We want to win here, and I think that's the most important thing. You can be a good player in the league, but if you don't win, it doesn't do you any justice. So that's my biggest focus right now. Is I want to do as much as I can to help us win. But in junior, in terms of racism and stuff, I didn't really face a whole lot. You get maybe some comments from a few guys but at the same time, those guys aren't educated. They didn't know what they're doing. And when you actually tell a guy, hey, don't say that or this, and they actually kind of get scared or they feel bad, and then you tell them why, and then they get educated and they don't do it again. So I think it's just about educating people and people willing to listen is the biggest thing.
Thank you very much, Ethan, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with Dave Tippett. Thank you. Use raise hand, and you'll be placed into a queue to ask those questions. Reminder also to not activate your camera. We have a first question. It'll be Reed Wilkins. Reed, as soon as your microphone is good, go ahead.
Sorry, Dave, you have me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure I had it. Ethan Bear just spoke. Quite a journey for him over the last 10 or 11 months. What kind of things could you pinpoint with Ethan that he was specifically able to do to earn your trust and to earn his role on the team? And certainly we foresee him being an important player here going into the tournament.
Well, right from the start of camp, you could see a guy that was very enthusiastic about getting out there and playing, and that enthusiasm it makes you catches your eye right away. Like, I looked at him, this is a kid that he's having fun out here. He loves to play, and then you start noticing what he's doing. And he was quick. He moved the puck quick. He thinks the game very well. And I think as much as Larson got nicked up there early, we probably put more on Bearsy than we probably would have normally, and he handled everything very well. So early in camp, he gave us good indications that he was going to be a good player for us. And then those early challenges where we were down one of our top defensemen, he jumped in there and took a lot of those minutes, and it was really good to watch. Like, he's a young guy that he loves the game, really well liked by his teammates, and every game he went out there and continued to play very well. And he's probably one of the greatest things you can say about him is when you have players like Connor and Leon and your top players want him on the ice with you, that shows that he's doing some real strong things. So he's a big part of our team, great attitude, and he's come back from the break here. You watch him out there practice right now. He's a really good player for us.
Next question, Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is active, go ahead.
Couple of good things, Dave. Playing the Calgary Flames in an exhibition game, is that good or bad, considering how the teams dislike one another? And the other question is on Philip Broberg. Is he a player for you in the tournament now that Mike Green is no longer here and you want to carry 10 defensemen in this tournament?
Well, I think that'll be Ken's decision. We wanted to bring over, have a look at him, but now with Green not joining us, that'll be a discussion with Ken we have. If you watch the practices out there, he looks good out there. He doesn't look out of place at all. So those will be discussions we have with upper management. But so we'll see where he gets to. We're everybody's pleasantly surprised. This is the first real look we've had of him here, and he's like I say, he hasn't looked out of place at all. The exhibition game, I guess everybody will play more into it than is there, but I think every team, no matter who you're playing, and I look at all the different, they kind of put rivalries all over the league in the exhibition games. I think teams are going to be so concentrating on getting themselves ready. I think it'll take some of that rivalry stuff out of it. You got one game and you're in the playoffs, so you better use that game wisely and make sure your team game's in order. And I think that'll be the focus.
Next question, Quinn Phillips. Quinn, as soon as your microphone is active, you can ask your question.
Hi, Dave. I'm just wondering what it means to the group to have Edmonton as the hub city.
Well, you're very comfortable with your surroundings. That's the first and foremost, and I think one of the biggest things is our players, I guess, how do you put it? It's not a hot spot, right? So our players feel confident that they can come here. I mean, everything, I think our doctors and trainers have done an unbelievable job. And really the city's done an unbelievable job of making sure that trying to contain the virus as well as you can. So Edmonton was rewarded with that. I think the players will come here with confidence that it's as good a place as anywhere that is going to make sure that we can get to the tournament and everybody stay healthy and finish the season. So I just look at it as, I think the players are proud of the facility here. They're proud of the city, and I don't think it'll really be a home ice advantage because everybody's going to be in the same boat. with no fans and stuff. But that being said, you're comfortable with your surroundings, and everybody knows how to get to the rink.
Next question from Tony Brar. Tony, as soon as your microphone is active, go ahead.
Dave, back in September, you challenged this team to bring the team's goals against average down. How would you say the team has reacted to that challenge?
I thought we've made progress. I think there's still more progress to go. We had a couple of times during the year where we thought we were defending very well, and then there's other times when we were in a bit of a funk when we're giving up too much. So that will be a focus for us, making sure we're reviewing everything going into this next part of the season here. I think our guys have a real, they're conscious about that. They understand that goals against is a big factor in winning and losing games. And so I think that's built a little bit into our DNA. But that being said, I think we can always improve.
Next question will be with Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hi, Dave. You mentioned the other day how pleased you were with the depth that you have on left wing, how flexible you can be moving guys up and down the lineup. I'm curious about the right wing and the center spots in specific. How comfortable and how locked in do you feel that you are with those combinations that you have between center and right wing?
Well, you're never locked into anything. I mean, there's some that you know have worked. I mean, Cass has worked well with Connor, and Yamo came in and really gelled with Leon there. That line of JJ and Neil and Chason, what you got is a big, strong line that I think could be a good playoff line, and they all play key roles on special teams. And then you've got kind of our penalty killers and a checking line, and with Smart, Speed on the outside, and Archibald and Ennis, and Sheehan's done a pretty good job for us at center ice there. That being said, we've got Haas he gives us real quality minutes when he's in there. Nygaard looks back good coming back from injury. He's skating well. He's still, I think he's working through getting his hands back in shape. He's missed quite a bit of time with that hand injury. And Patrick Russell is really, he's one of those guys that coaches like because he's just a jack of all trades, and he shows up and he works so hard every day. And when his number gets called, he's there. And if he's not in the lineup, he's working just as hard. So, and then we have our young guys from Baco. So we like our depth right now. We have a lot of interchangeable parts. And some of it really depends on, I look at some of it, it's the rhythm of how the game goes and special teams and how players get used. And that's a bit of a factor in it. And you're looking for synergy on lines. And so we have the ability to tinker with it. And the good thing about going through a whole season is and when we got shut down, we were kind of tinkering with a few things, trying to find our best rhythm and best fits, and we'll continue to do that a little bit. But we like our depth, and I like some interchangeable parts we have.
Next question, Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is ready, go ahead.
A couple of things, Dave. In the exhibition games, you're going to play both goalies. And the other question I have for you is, Ethan Bear, were there times in the game where you tested him to see how he would play against the very best players on the other team? And if he made a mistake, well, that was part of the learning experience. Well,
like I said, when Lars got hurt early, it was like no choice. Here you go, Bearsy. Let's see how you do. And he had a lot of challenges this year. We challenged him in a lot of situations, and he always met that challenge. And the sign of maturity of a player is how they react after some of those mistakes. Even the best defensemen in the league make mistakes, but it's how you react after that. And Bearsy had a maturity about him this year that he didn't let those things affect him. He had the confidence that he could play against top players, and that maturity allows him to get past any jitters you might have for making some mistakes and just move on. And that's when a guy's arrived to be a good NHL player. He has that maturity that he doesn't let good or bad affect him. He makes sure he's doing his job every night. So I give him a ton of credit for the maturity that he's brought to his game. As far as the exhibition game with the one exhibition game, we'll just continue. We're going to continue to do a lot of scrimmaging here, and we'll, we're just like we're going to monitor our players. We'll monitor the goaltenders, and we'll just see where we're at. I'll talk with Dustin Schwartz, see what's our best fit going into that game. But we've got a while before that. It's I would have liked to have a couple exhibition games because you'd like to be able to even play a few more players, in one game or not two, something like that. So we'll see.
Next question, Tony Brar, and I believe this will be the final question. Go ahead, Tony.
Dave, how would you describe the role that both Ethan Bear and Darnell Nurse play as a pairing together, and what kind of dynamics they offer the team?
I think they really work off each other very well. Nurse looks really good right now. He's come in great shape. The two of them are, you got Nurse is a big, powerful guy. Bears, he's real smart, good with the puck. So we've relied on them. They've played against teams' top players. They played on a second power play unit. Both are very strong penalty killers, but they've been a very stable pair for us. And like I say, they enjoy playing with each other. They work well off each other, and they've been an effective pair. And as a coach, you're always trying to find that synergy with people, that not just so they play well, but the person they're playing with or the line they're playing with, everybody can maximize their what they bring to the team. And those two have done a good job of maximizing each other, and they've been a very good pair for us.
Thank you very much, Dave. That'll be it for today's media availability. Thanks to everyone, and we'll be sending out audio and video files shortly. Thank you.